Mrs. Scale, what are you doing?
I'm just sewing whatever this is in your cupboard to my 3-year-old daughter.
Is she enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, she's looking about as perplexed as I am, so I think this might have to be the end of the social call.
Okay, so next time you read a story online, I expect to see that.
That's tragic.
Hello. Welcome everyone. Today we are definitely doing lots of new learning, aren't we, Mrs. Gale?
Yes.
Take it away.
We wouldn't have. So we were hoping to cover with you guys if you were in school. We would have been looking at conversions, and conversions. One of the Year 6 criteria is looking at miles and kilometres. You wouldn't have covered this necessarily in Year 5, 4, or 3. So this will definitely be new learning for you.
We will also be looking at lots of other different types of conversion as well, but you would have covered those in the previous year.
Okay. Right. Hello.
To convert between miles and kilometres.
Okay, Miss Mia, just give us a definition. What would convert mean?
So I would say convert means changing from one thing to another.
Yeah.
So if I think about convert, if I think about languages, if I'm converting French into English, I'm changing those words into another language. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would totally agree. So we're going to be using line graphs here. So if you haven't done the lesson on line graphs, do the line graphs first before you look at this lesson. And the other thing we're going to look at is we're going to put it in regards to ratio as well. So we're going to be looking at line graphs and ratio for Year 6.
So lots of great learning today.
So first things first, just watch me here. This is really important. We need to understand miles to kilometres. What does that actually mean? Okay. So here we've got a scale and it's the conversion of miles. And actually the common conversion that you need to learn is if we look here at 5 miles, this question here is here, write the correct whole number in the box. 5 miles is approximately how many kilometres? So approximately means roughly, okay? But
to the nearest degree.
Yeah, to the nearest degree. So when I look here at 5 miles, it's approximately close to 8 kilometres. And that can be written mathematically as 5 miles is approximately, where you do a wiggly equal sign, is approximately 8 kilometres. Okay, nice. You can write it like that. So just jot down that conversion because you need to use that conversion within the lesson. So, in order to be able to answer these questions, we need to practice 2 skills. So, the first skill is using a pencil and a ruler to convert measurements on a line graph. You can apply this straight away to this question.
Okay, so I'm just going to bring the phone closer, Mrs. Gale, so we can see you use it.
Okay, so first of all, we need to have a look at this line graph. It's a conversion line graph. Here, you've got your point of origin here, which is 0, 0, and you can see it's a steady line graph going up. We've got our kilometres down here along the x-axis, going from 0 to 10, and we've got our miles up going up the y-axis from 0 to 6.
And 5 miles is approximately what, Mrs. Gale?
So when we have a look here, if we had a look at this part here, and let's go on to line, okay, if we had 5 miles here, we can see if we went across here, is approximately, when we go down here, it's just over 8, okay? So it's 8 kilometres, and that's why this is an accurate line graph in terms of those parts. So let's just take those parts off for the moment, and let's have a look at a watch me one. So, the question is as follows. Using the graph to convert between miles and kilometres, give your answer to the nearest 1 decimal place, okay? So you can put it into decimal places, you can also leave it at that as well. So, 3 miles is approximately how many kilometres? Now, I don't have to put it in just necessarily nearest 1 decimal place. I can keep it as a whole number. They also accepted that answer as well. So let's have a look here. Line. So first of all, 3 miles. I need to know which axis to look at. I don't look at the kilometres. They're telling me about miles. I look up for 3, and this is where I need to understand my scales. So 1, 2, 3. 3 miles, pencil and ruler. I would draw along on my line graph until I hit that line, and then I would come down here.
Shall we do 2 answers, Mrs. Gale? Shall we do 1 to the nearest whole, the nearest integer, and 1 to the nearest decimal point?
Okay, I'm going to put the nearest decimal point in that particular question. Miss Mia, to the nearest whole number, 4 to 5, where does that line come down along the axis? 5. Yeah, 5. If I was going to do the nearest decimal place, well, I know that halfway here is going to be 4.5, okay? So it's going to be closer to the 5, I'd approximately say about 4.8, 4.9.
I'd say that's more 4.9, Mrs. Gale.
Okay, so 1 decimal place, 4.9 kilometres, okay? The next part here, something miles is approximately 6 kilometres. Now, this question here I started with miles, I'm now starting with kilometres, so I need to look at a different part of my axes. So, let's have a look here. So let's have a look at the line again. Let's have a look in a different green line so it doesn't become confusing. So 6 kilometres, I need to level a look on the x-axis here, here's my 6. I go right up until I hit that line graph here, okay? Once I hit that line graph, I then go across, and I'm looking, where does it come between? All right? Now, if I have a look here, here's my 3, here's my 4, here's 3.5, which is halfway between it. About 3.6, 3.7, I would have said.
Yeah,
okay?
I'd agree.
So here, we'll have 3.6.
And we know the answer to the last one because we looked at it on the previous slide and we actually modelled it here. So 5 miles is approximately 8 kilometres. Okay?
Okay. Now, if you wanted to be quite specific with that.
You rubbed it out, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But it's okay. So 5 miles here, if I went all the way across here, to this line here, and then all the way down, it's just over, a little bit over 8 kilometres. Okay,
so it's about 8.1,
okay?
8.2.
So if you're being more specific here and they ask for 1 decimal point, you'd actually probably end up putting something like 8.1. Okay? So those are some conversions there using this particular line graph. So what I would like you to do is same questions using this line graph.
You'll also find this line graph up on the website, so have it in front of you on a different screen if necessary, or print it out if you can, and draw those lines to the best of your ability, or you may just be able to see it. Some people just have really good vision. Right, Mr. Gill, do you want to go through the answers?
Yep. So, yep.
Yeah.
So make sure you pause the video and have a look at these first. So your answers here are 4 miles is approximately 6.5 kilometres. I would say you can be 0.1 either side. So you can have 0.6, so 6.6 or 6.4. I'd allow 1 either side by 0.1. Okay, 5.6 miles is approximately 9 kilometres, and 2 miles is approximately 3.3 kilometres. Okay,
great.
So you can be 0.1 either side of those, bit of leeway there. Okay, so let's move on now. Skill 2, which was, so skill 1, we've looked at miles to kilometres conversions using a line graph. Skill 2, we're looking at writing miles and kilometres as a ratio. Slightly different here.
So ratio is comparing 2 sets of data. Would you agree with that,
Yes,
Mr. Gill?
that's a good definition.
Thank you.
So here is a map of a part of France. And the question is as follows. I think Miss Mia, you're going to need to bring it in because I'm going to be underlining key information in this particular question.
My arm's just hurting.
Yeah,
so
I'm just going to have to toughen up, soldier.
Okay.
So the map shows the distance between Calais to Paris, which is 320 kilometres. I need that information. 5 miles is approximately 8 kilometres. That's that key conversion we've been looking at. Use these facts to calculate the approximate distance in miles from Calais to Paris. Okay. So actually, this part here, I'm going to write down here. If I put here miles, kilometres, it's easy to understand.
I was hoping you'd do that.
Okay, and that's going to be my ratio. Those two, the colon defines the ratio. So I know that 5 miles is approximately 8 kilometres, and that's how I'd write it as a ratio. Now, the information that they give us here is 320 kilometres. So that because it's kilometres, Miss Mia, which number would it go underneath?
It would go under the 8 because the 8 is showing the kilometres.
Good. So it goes 320 here. Now, with ratio, what you're looking at, okay, what do I times 8 by to get 320? Okay, or what do I divide if I divided 320 divided by 8, what would my number be here?
Now we can actually use our times table knowledge here as well. So rather than doing short division, we can actually use our times table knowledge. I know that 8 times 4 is 32. 320 is 10 times larger than 32, so the answer must be 40.
So some of you, I know that quite like to take that 0 off and do kind of 8s into 32, which would be, so you're multiplying it by 440, okay, because it's 10 times bigger.
Okay.
So whatever I do to the right-hand side, Miss Mia, I must do to the left-hand side.
I'm not good with directions. Why are you asking me?
So what I'm doing here then is I'm doing, okay, I do 5 times 40. Well, I know that 5 times 4 is 20, and 40
is 10 times
bigger
larger
than 4. Okay, so 20 times by 10 gives me 200. So here's my ratio conversions. 320 kilometres is the same as 8 here, and then 200 would be the same as 5 here when you're looking at ratio and comparing it. So my answer here, in miles, my final answer would be 200.
Good. Now, if they wrote that whole 200 with the ratio sign 320 in that answer box, they wouldn't get the answer, despite having the correct answer within it. Yeah. It's just asking for the miles.
And you'll notice it's worth 2 marks here. Okay?
Okay.
So have a look, go back on that with if you need to, if you need the explanation again. If you don't, let's have a look and have a go at this one on your own. the question is, the map shows the distance from Calais to Paris, which is 480 kilometres, so I've changed that there, kept the rest the same. 5 miles is approximately 8 kilometres. Use these facts to calculate the approximate distance in miles from Calais to Paris. Okay, have a go. Lay it out exactly like mine.
Okay, shall we show them the answer?
Okay, yep, your final answer here should have been 300 miles.
Okay, cool. Right, is there any more to this?
Nope, that's pretty much it. So what you'll need to do now is you'll need to go to the school website.
You've enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you and
See you later.
bye.